Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the National Social Security Advisors Open Forum. I am back from my travels. I was gone for 2 weeks and 4 days, traveling to Israel for most of that time and also to Rhodes Island in Greece. The best part of a trip is one, leaving, and two, coming back. So I am really happy to be back sleeping in my own bed and catching up on a whole bunch of emails. But thank goodness for Jim Blair. We are still in business. I was,
Barely.
Jim, I had wondered when I left if I'd still have a company to come back to. So thank you so much for keeping the lights on for us. I appreciate it. I also like the flag in back of you. It's really neat. I'm glad you have that up there, the American flag. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that will you can either uh put all sorts of stuff in there, alcohol, guns, whatever you want to put in there. It's got a nice little setup.
put in where?
Inside the flag, it opens up.
Oh, inside the flag. Okay, I didn't quite know what you're saying, Jim. Before we kind of get things going, while I was gone, Social Security came out with an update on the online accounts. Jim, I did not have a chance to look at that update or to send an announcement out to everybody, but I believe you did. You looked at it. So, Jim, please fill us in. What's going on there?
Well, I don't remember what it was. What was it about?
You had to kind of do something additional to keep your online account going.
Oh, okay, I remember. Okay. Um, for people who had created their accounts before, I believe it was September of 2021, you could still log in just using your username and password. That's changing. Everybody's going to have to log in using either login.gov or id.me. So you're going to have to change it over from the username and password to one of those two sign-in uh, things that people signing up now, anybody actually signed up after 2021 has to be using. So they're phasing out the username and password.
So, Jim, that does not affect us, right?
Yeah, they're phasing that out. So
Oh,
you're going to have id.me or login.gov account.
okay. I thought you said anyone before 21 was okay. Okay, fine.
No, they're the ones that are being affected.
Okay, okay, got it. I guess I still have jet lag going on, folks. Okay, so Jim, how do we do that? What are the steps to comply?
They just have it set up when you go to log in.
Okay, and how did that go for you?
I already had an account, so it wasn't hard for me to do.
Okay.
You just follow the prompts, and they use your email address, and you create a password.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
And they
Uh,
still have the third step where when you do log in, they still will text you to your phone a number that you have to plug in.
okay. I'll be sending that announcement out to everybody sometime this week. I wasn't able to do it from Israel, unfortunately. That blog came out almost immediately after I left the States. Okay, thank you, Jim. So I wanted to let everybody know that we will be ending today's open forum just a few minutes early, 5 minutes maybe. I have another Zoom at 11 o'clock that I need to kind of get on. All right, folks, you know the drill. If you raise your hand, we'll get to you a bit quicker. If you don't raise your hand, well, we'll just kind of go through the Hollywood Squares thing. I guess I shouldn't call it Hollywood Squares, an SSA Squares thing, and we'll call on you eventually. All right, so far nobody has raised their hand. So the first person on my top left is Sue. Welcome, Sue.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to go. Oh, what's the deadline for creating a new uh, access to the your Social Security account? Is there a deadline for
I
doing?
don't recall seeing one. I assume they probably have one set up, but I don't recall that being in the announcement.
Okay, I heard the first link, login.gov. What was the second one, please? Login.me,
No, ID.me.
ID.me. Okay, thank you. My favorite topic is always about the spouse, okay, male or female, because there's so many, different variations, divorce, death, and existing. So let's take an existing, if we may, and let's pretend her name is Colette, 56 years old, and Peter. Okay, let's say he's older. If Colette is 60 and he's older, when can, if Peter files at age 62, does she get anything at age 60? Can she
No,
go? No.
she has to be 62 to draw as a spouse.
Okay, draws a spouse. Okay. And what's the rule for that? 50% or what, please?
It's based on 50% of his PIA, but if she's under her full retirement age, then that will also be reduced for age.
Okay. And if she's at full retirement age,
50% of his PIA.
so that doesn't change really if he's filing at age 62.
No, correct. Whether he files at 62 or even waits till 70, that doesn't help. She can file as early as 62, and if she's full retirement age, she'll get 50% of his PIA. So it's not reduced because he filed at 62, or it's not increased because he waited till 70.
Okay, so if she reaches full retirement age and he's already at full retirement age, then oh wait, okay, let's do this. Let's say she's at full retirement age and she didn't, get half of his at when he turned 62, and now they're both older in that. And you're saying that when she reaches full retirement age herself, then she'll be able to get 50% of his PIA because he's over his full retirement age?
No, she'll get 50% of his PIA because he filed for benefits.
Okay, and it'll still be at age 62 when he filed, correct?
Yeah, even if he filed at 62 and took a reduction, at her full retirement age, she would get 50% of the PIA, the unreduced amount.
Okay, and if she waited until, and he waited until full retirement age, and then she'll be getting 50% of his PIA at full retirement age, correct?
Correct. The only thing is she has to wait till he files to receive off of his record.
Okay, and if he waited until age 70, does she benefit from his 8% increases?
Oh, yeah, any increases oh, no.
No.
I'm sorry, I was thinking COLA. I was off on the wrong direction.
Uh,
No, she doesn't, as a spouse, she doesn't receive any advantage of those 8% a year increases.
Okay, so really, she's going to benefit maximum from him while they're both living then when he's at full retirement age then, correct?
Well, maximum she'll receive is 50% of his PIA, and it's based on her age when she files. Doesn't matter when he files.
Okay. And then the last time for any action then would be at Peter's death, correct?
Yeah, then she would get, if she's full retirement age or older, she'll receive 100% of what he was receiving.
Okay, and if for a deceased husband.
So we need to kind of move on a little bit, okay?
Okay, thank you.
If we have more time at the end, we'll definitely get to the rest of your questions. Okay, Sue?
Okay, there's just one more. I'll wait till the end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Travis, you raised your hand. Travis, what's going on in North Carolina?
Hey guys, I just had a quick question for you. This was brought up with an advisor I was working with last week. It is a survivor question where they were thinking about so both of the people were age 60. The husband passed away. They've made about the same income. So she was thinking about taking her Social Security early at age 62, jumping over to the survivor benefit at her full retirement age of 67. The question was, because she's suspending her benefit at 67 to take the survivor, can she jump back over to her benefit at 70 and get those delayed retirement credits for those 3 years?
No. When she files on his record, technically she remains technically entitled on her own. So while she's not being paid on her own, it's still there. She's still applied. So there's no delayed retirement credits that she's going to earn. But no, they don't let you do that.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Travis. Appreciate it. Tony,
Hey.
you raised your hand. Tony, what's going on?
Good morning. Question on spousal benefits. So I have a guy that is 81 years old. He's getting a benefit of about $4,500. I'm not sure exactly when he filed, but assuming he filed at 66, I looked up the maximum benefit at that point, or maximum PIA was like 2,300 and something in 2009. He's got a 62-year-old wife, and her PIA is almost 1,900. Now, I'm assuming that she would not be due any spousal add-on when she files, because her spousal benefit is based off of, you know, his half of his PIA minus hers, and hers is almost 1,900. Am I thinking correctly there?
Yeah, she has to take her own first. E-filing requires she files on her own record first. And then if her PIA is more than half of his, then she would not be due any spousal boost.
And would they still be basing on that 2,300? There wouldn't be any, or would they make any kind of adjustments for COLA, or would they not?
Yeah, it's based off of the current PIA. So whatever's his PIA is increased based off of cost of living adjustments, that's what they're going to use.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Tony. Chris, you're next, Chris. Good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Hey guys, welcome back, Mark.
Hey, thanks.
Jim, good to see you. So I'm gonna the other advisor that asked the question with the widow, I want to make sure that I'm clear. So the reason that the answer was no on the delayed retirement credits was because he died before they had increased. But if he had, for whatever reason, let's say he waited till 70 and experienced delayed retirement credits, the spousal widow or the widow benefits on delayed requirements, aren't they entitled to 100% of the full retirement benefit of the decedent?
Yeah, they're eligible, if they're full retirement age, they're eligible for the PIA plus any delayed retirement credits the deceased had earned. Unless I misunderstood the question, I thought the question was, she took her own at 62, switched to his at full retirement age. Could she then earn delayed retirement credits on her own and switch over back to her own at age 70? If I misunderstood that, Tony, let me know. But that you can't do. But any delayed retirement credits he earned, yes, she would get those.
And that's only for widows, not for spouses.
Correct. Right. Spouses don't receive any advantage of the delayed retirement credits. Widows, surviving spouses do.
Well, that was my question, guys. Thank you. And again, welcome back, Mark.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. David, you're next, David. There you go. Let's turn around so we can see the front of you, not the back of you.
Good morning. How are you? Hey, I have a question.
Okay. You're difficult to hear, David.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay. I have a gentleman who earned his Social
Well,
benefit.
it's tough.
I'm not sure why. I have it on muted and I have it up.
Are you on McDonald's Wi-Fi?
No.
Hey,
Let me figure it out and I'll give you a call.
okay. Thanks, David. We'll go to Lee. Hi, Lee.
I don't have anything this morning. I'm just enjoying listening to all the questions and answers.
Okay, Lee.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Let's go to John. Hello, John. You're on mute, John. John, you're mute.
Sorry,
There you
no,
go.
I know. Sorry, I was just listening. Good to hear. Good to catch up. Hope you had a good trip to Israel.
Huh? Sure
I hope you
did.
had, I want to hear about it. I mean, obviously that's a pretty hot topic these days. But no,
Oh,
just
hot.
always good.
Oh, hot. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
Always
desert
good.
hot.
yeah. Always good to refresh my knowledge with you guys on these things, and good to hear
Okay.
you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
John. Appreciate
You
it.
bet.
Andrea, I won't go to that little joke I usually play for you. So I'll just call you Andrea.
Okay, thanks, Mark and Jim. I'm just here to listen today, but as always, I'm super appreciative when I reach out and you guys help me answer client questions.
Okay, thank you, Andrea.
I've never heard the joke. I need to hear it.
Well, her last name is Paradise, so you could imagine. Let's go to Paradise. All right, let's go to Chris. Hi, Chris. Chris Liebram. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. So had a couple good ones last week. One was a lady that gone to the Social Security office who told her she wasn't eligible for any benefits. So she was put in contact with me, gave her some things to go back and ask them about. She'd previously been married for more than 10 years, about claiming on her ex-spouse. So she went back in. She took all her files, whether showing her marriage certificate and her divorce. So they're able to help her out and get her a benefit in place. And so, through what I've learned from you and Jim, I was able to share that with her and make a difference in her life.
Great. Thanks, Chris. You had another one?
The other one was a guy that was, they wanted to claim early. So I took his and his wife's information, put it in the life yield calculator, through Allianz there, and showed him the differences between if you claim now or claim later, and as substantial as about $100,000 in benefits, and based on his living to 100 actuarial score there, they were going to live to like 93 and 95, so certainly past the break even of about 81 there. So they've changed their plans, and they're going to rearrange the finances and wait.
Okay, great. It's always nice to understand Social Security so you can help people. So, Chris, appreciate your comments there. Definitely.
Welcome.
All right, let's go to Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark, welcome back. I have nothing today, just listening in. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Both you and Jim.
Thank you, Mark. Let's go to a nice Cincinnati advisor, Andy. I have a question for you, Andy. You ready for it?
Yeah. Hey, Mark.
Andy's my Medicare consultant. So Andy knows that I went to overseas, and he told me before I left that I'd have, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, $50,000 in Medicare medical coverage through either Medicare or through my supplement plan.
Your
Andy,
supplement, yeah.
it's through the supplement plan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I incurred medical costs, how do I get reimbursed for those medical costs?
So it would be through the insurance carrier, through their customer service. Hey, I had a emergency visit, to a hospital or whatever. I incurred these costs, and then they would provide you with some sort of paperwork or process to show that proof, and then they would potentially refund you up to, that 50,000 amount.
Andy, is there a form you could email to me, please?
I don't know of the form, but I can try and get it.
Okay, it's for somebody who's using United Healthcare.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Andy. Okay, so Andy, what's on your mind today? I have that on my mind. I waited as long as I could to ask you that question.
I really don't have anything today at the moment, just listening in. So I'm good for the moment.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.
All right.
Shay. Hi, Shay. I think, Shay, you're new with us, aren't you? Shay, are you there? Okay, let's go to Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Mark. Same as some of the other people on the line here today, just listening and trying to refresh on, some of the pertinent questions that I'm getting. So I appreciate you running this, and I'll keep listening.
Okay, thanks, Michael. James Mayer, you're next. Oh, you said something, James. I forgot what it said in the chat area. Maybe your microphone isn't working. Okay. Let's go to Peter. Hi, Peter. Okay, let's go to Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
I don't have anything that specific, but I feel like just a quick refresher on WEP and GPO would be really helpful.
Okay. So WEP and GPO apply when you're working with somebody who has a pension coming to them from work not covered by Social Security, non-covered earnings, state, local, county government workers, even federal employees hired before 1984. So WEP applies if you're looking for Social Security benefits off of your own work record, because you also have Social Security covered earnings. And GPO applies when you're looking for Social Security benefits off of a spouse. That would be off of a current spouse, off of an ex-spouse, off of a deceased spouse. So if you're looking for your own Social Security benefits as well as a government pension, WEP will apply, reducing your Social Security benefits by as much as, I believe, Jim, it's $587 a month. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that's about right around there.
Okay. So if you're eligible for your own Social Security benefits, your Social Security benefits can be reduced by as much as, let's just say $550. I don't know the actual figure anymore. I've been gone too long. Now, there's an opportunity to reduce the WEP adjustment. That's by having at least 21 years of substantial Social Security covered earnings. To the 2024 amount, Jim, kind of what's that amount again, please?
It's $31,275.
That's right, $31,275. So if you have at least 21 years or more of substantial earnings, your WEP reduction will be lessened. And if you have 30 years or more of substantial earnings, you will not have a WEP reduction at all. So WEP only impacts bend point number 1 and reduces the bend point number 1 percentage from the 90% level down to as low as 40%. You'll always receive something off of your Social Security record. Always receive something. It will not be reduced down to 0. So Jim, talk about GPO, please.
Government pension offset affects folks who are eligible for a pension not covered by Social Security, but also eligible for a spouse, divorced spouse, or a survivor benefit. So you're eligible for a benefit from someone else's work record. And what they're going to do is take 2/3 of your gross pension and subtract it from the Social Security benefit. So the first thing they do is figure out how much is the Social Security benefit. Then they will reduce that by 2/3 of the gross pension. This will oftentimes completely wipe it out. Not always, but it can completely eliminate the benefit paid to someone. They're still eligible for Medicare off of their spouse's work record. That's not affected, but there may be no monthly benefit involved. So what you want to do maybe is you can go online and Google WEP fact sheet or GPO fact sheet and look at what the fact sheets that Social Security has. The WEP fact sheet is its publication number 05-10045, and the GPO fact sheet is 05-10007. They have a pretty good explanation. They're only 2 pages long. So that might help too.
Now, WEP stands for Windfall Elimination Provision, and GPO stands for Grumpy Partner Offset, because what partner is not grumpy when they find out that they're not getting anything off their spouse? I did write a letter to Michael Johnson, Speaker of the House, to get GPO changed to Grumpy Partner Offset. For some odd reason, I have not received a response yet. Okay, we'll go to Logan. Hi, Logan.
How are you doing there?
Everything's good here. Thanks for being here.
Good, good. I'm listening as well. I obviously was in your class about 30 days ago here in Chicago. So nothing much else. I'm glad you enjoyed your trip to Greece, being 100% Greek. I kind of favor that one. So
okay. We had a good time. Thanks, Logan.
Good.
Darlene. Hi, Darlene. You're next.
Hello, sorry, I had to jump off and jump back on.
Yeah,
So
okay.
no questions from me today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Darlene. Let's go. Adam, you're next, Adam. Okay. Let's go to Ilsun.
Hi, thank you so much. I don't have anything. I'm just here to listen and learn.
Okay, thanks, Ilsun.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Alicia, you're up next.
So I had a follow-up question to the WEP and GPO, something that I've been trying to wrap my brain around. I understand WEP and GPO quite a bit, but when it comes to the years of substantial earnings, I know that that affects WEP, but I've been wondering about GPO, and at what point do you say I've paid enough into Social Security that this is now a covered pension instead of a non-covered pension, and so I don't have GPO anymore? Is it still the years of substantial earnings, or is that something else that determines
No,
that?
years of substantial earnings only applies to WEP, not GPO.
Okay.
So, however, though, there is an exception to GPO, which I think might apply to one more person in this country. Jim, explain that. I think it's a 5-year rule, maybe, or something.
Well, there is if you pay into the same system, so it's basically you have the same job, and you start paying Social Security tax on those wages, and you do it for 60 months, then it's not going to apply.
Okay.
That doesn't happen too often.
I don't think I've ever. Jim, when's the last time you came across that and it applied to somebody?
Not sure I ever have.
Okay.
And when they first passed the law, it was 1 day. We had a few of those because the retirement systems would hook the people up for 1 day. They pay Social Security tax and get out of it. So Congress quickly figured that out and changed it to 60 months.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Alicia, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Mike, you're next, Mike. Mike Mason, are you still with us? Oh, you go.
Yes,
There
I
you go.
am. There we go. Sorry,
Okay.
Jim. Sorry, Mark. So quick question that's come up quite often. Is there a time or an age when Social Security benefits are forced to be paid? For example, let's say we have a client that is not interested in receiving Social Security benefits because let's say they've done very, very well. They don't need the money.
Never forced.
Okay. So,
Yep.
and then they can always file at a later age, reflecting what the maximum benefit they would have attained at that time, correct?
But you can only go back 6 months. So if you don't want to need the money and you're 75 years of age, Mike, then Social Security will only go back 6 months and give you a lump sum check for 6 months. So you lose 4.5 months of benefits, 4.5 years.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though when it comes to spousal benefits, Jim, help me on this one because deemed filing apply for spousal benefits. So you never, Jim, you are forced to take spousal benefits at certain times. Can you explain that, please?
Well, it still requires you had filed on your own record. So if you didn't want any benefits, you're not forced. If you're receiving, if you file for your retirement benefits, you are forced by deemed filing to take any spousal boost you're eligible for. Could be a spousal or ex-spousal boost when you become eligible. So when the other individual files for their benefits, if you're receiving retirement on your own, you have to take any spousal boost that would be available. If when you file, the other spouse is already receiving, then you would have to take them both at the same time. So in that case, you filed on your own, you are forced to take the spousal benefit. But if you don't file for anything, no.
But if you filed for your own and then sometime down the road, your spouse files for their benefits, you need to, you can't delay taking that spousal benefit. So if you don't file a spousal boost, so if you don't file for the spousal boost, you're not going to receive it. However, eventually Social Security will start paying you as of the date that your spouse filed for their own benefits. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank
Yeah.
you.
But the question you asked was, can somebody wait till age 100? Yeah, they can wait as long as they want to. There's no forced benefit to be paid. All right, Mike, anything else, Mike? Okay.
Good, thank you.
Carlos, you're next, Carlos. Okay, let's go to Ethan. Hello, Ethan. You're next.
Yep, nothing today, just listening in.
Okay, thank you, Ethan. Carlos said something. Microphone isn't working. Okay. All right. Tanya, we went to you, Tanya, I believe. So, Natalie, you're next, Natalie.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I finally figured out how to make that work. So I had one, actually it was just this morning. So he's turning 65 and so we know that full retirement age isn't until 66 and 8 months. So the earnings test will apply, but he's retiring starting October the 1st. He's a high income earner. So his question was concerning the earnings test. That would not be applicable to his earnings up until October the 1st. It's just October the 1st. We would be taking that 55,000, dividing it out. He just couldn't exceed that monthly amount. Is that correct?
Well, first of all, they do look at the annual amount and they use January through December. So they will count the earnings that he earned prior to starting his Social Security. But you're right, then that's when the monthly test applies. And as long as he stays under the 1870 for October, November, and December, then he's fine. He'll still get paid for those 3 months.
But if his income did in fact exceed that, the first, I guess it's 10 months of the year, 9 months of the year, then that's going to impact the amount that he will receive?
Well, unless he stays under the monthly amount. So as long as he doesn't have earnings of 1870 or more, starting with October, it doesn't matter how much he went over the earnings test those first 9 months. They'll use the monthly test to go ahead and pay him.
Okay.
But if he earns 1871, then they will pull in those other earnings and he would lose that particular month's benefit for the earnings test. So he just has to be real careful. And it is earned income. It's not draws from his savings or 401ks. That's not other pensions he has, just if he's working.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks, Natalie. Krista, good morning, Krista. What's on your mind today?
Good morning. Thank you. Just listening.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Jim, we went through everybody. We'll go through additional questions. and I know Sue may have additional questions, but Jim, you've answered lots of questions and I was gone. So we'll get to yours. But before we do that, Jim, let's award two $50 gift cards. Pick two numbers between 1 and 29. We have a small crowd today.
11 and 24.
Okay, Chris Liebum, you are one of our winners. You said 11 and 24?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mike Mason, you are another winner. So Chris and Mike, send me an email and Aaron will send you the $50 gift cards. My email address, as you might know, is mkiner, Kiner at mypremierplan.com. And we'll get to the $50 gift card sent to you electronically. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you picking those numbers, Jim. Okay, so we're back to you. What other questions do you have?
Yeah, just one. You can hear me, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Let's say a wife, well, a widow, is in her 60s now, and her husband died when he was in his 50s. Okay. Is there any way she can benefit from if he had enough quarters in that from his Social Security, even though he never attained collecting any.
Yeah, she'll be eligible off of his work record. Social Security determines what they call a death PIA, and they will take his age when he died, subtract 22, and that's how many credits that he needed. And then they'll use 5 less years for the number of years in the computation. So how old did you say he would have been?
He about 55 he was.
Okay, so if he passed away at 55, then I don't know, what is that? 32?
Yep.
Yeah,
33.
good. That was
Oh.
a tough one. So he would need 32 credits.
Yep.
And they would use his highest 27 years of earnings. And what they'll do is they'll use the indexing factors and BIM points that were in place the year he passed. And then any cost of living adjustments that occur between when he died and she starts to receive her benefits will be added to his PIA to bring it up to today's dollars. Then she's eligible based on 100% of that benefit. And if she's not yet full retirement age, it will also be reduced for age, but she could draw as early as age 60 for the survivor benefit.
Okay, and does she have to turn on hers first? No.
No.
Okay. And then if she gets to the point where when she reaches full retirement age, hers would be higher, could she switch?
Yes, she could switch, or she could wait till age 70 and earn the delayed retirement credits. And in the meantime, she's drawing the survivor benefit. So she does have that option to switch to the higher benefit later.
Okay, and if she had started her Social Security, just didn't realize she could inquire about him dying earlier and that, can she, if his is still higher, can she switch to his then and drop hers?
Well, if she's been drawing less than a year, she'd have to withdraw her own, because if she's drawing on her own and just files off of his, they'll just add the difference to her benefit and bring her up to 100% of his. But if she wanted to save her own till later, she would have to withdraw the application. So you have a year to do that.
Okay, and one other little aspect, and let's say she reaches eventually in a few years full retirement age, and she's been collecting on his, well, again, she could still benefit from 8% increase to hers, or if she was taking hers first, she could stop at full retirement age. And then, well, anyway, she should inquire, in other words, correct?
Absolutely inquired. If she's drawing on her own, she could wait till her full retirement age, and then she would end up receiving 100% of his benefit.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Jim, talk about that benefit matrix report since we're talking about surviving spouse benefits. How is that obtained and what information is on there?
Well, the benefit matrix shows at each particular month what your benefit would be if you start benefits at that month. So how much would you receive? And you can get it based off of your own work record or as a surviving spouse. It will show your benefit if you file as a widow or widower at age 60, or if you start at 60 at 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, all the way up to your full retirement age. It will show you how much you would receive on your own starting at age 62, and then show your benefit at 62 in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, all the way up to age 70. The benefit matrix can be real handy to figure out what benefit do I take first, which benefit do I switch to later. You get that from the local office. You pretty much you have to go in, and if you wanted in the survivor benefit included, you're going to have to show that you were eligible. Now, normally a death certificate, if you were married to someone, the death certificates, I think in most states, show the surviving spouse. That's fine. That'll work. If it doesn't show you as a surviving spouse, or maybe it's a divorce spouse case, you take your marriage certificate and your divorce decree. You can skip the marriage certificate if you're divorced, if the divorce decree also shows your date of marriage. But basically, you're proving in the divorce case you were married to that person for 10 years or longer, and they'll give you that. But generally you have to go into the office to get it. If you ever drew any benefits, say someone drew the lump sum death payment, and now they want to get the benefit matrix, you may be able to get it with a phone call. I'd give it a try before I went in. But that's kind of iffy whether they'll give it to you.
Jim, let's talk about some of the questions you have received and answered while I was gone. Kind of what's hot, can you remember?
The main thing that's been going on here of late is with widows, widowers, and your own Social Security amount. And people are being told way too many times, no, you have to take whatever benefit's higher. You can't take the lower benefit first and switch to the other benefit later. If your own, they're telling people, if your own retirement's higher, you don't get to file on your deceased spouse's work record. You have to take your own. Survivor benefits are not subject to deemed filing. And I've pointed out I was talking to one of our advisors in Florida. I don't think he's on here, but he was having the same issue. The person actually went in a couple of times and was told the same thing. She ended up making an appointment, and they were looking for some information she could provide if the third person gave her the same information. And I gave him 3 links to the Social Security website that says that you can do that. That deemed filing doesn't apply. You can take the lower benefit first and switch to the other one later. So you can file at age 60 as a survivor and wait till full retirement age, or even age 70 to switch to your own if it's higher, or take your own at 62 and take the unreduced survivor benefit at your full retirement age. But a lot of the folks out there are telling people you can't, and that's unfortunate. So what I suggested that she also do, if she gets a third answer that tells them that, then you just insist on filing so that you get an official answer and you have appeal rights. But if you file, it'll get processed. I don't know, some of the other questions, they're kind of all over the place. We get a lot of questions about the earnings test, how it applies to your benefits, and then what does it do at full retirement age. One that I just got this morning wanted to know if the person received notice they were overpaid, and that they were going to start, if they didn't pay it back in 30 days, they would start the 10% withholding. So that's kind of new. The most they'll take out of your check is 10%. They won't take the whole check anymore. This person will not have paid back all that they were overpaid by the time they're full retirement age. And they were kind of wondering how the credit months would play into that. Well, any month that person was not eligible for a benefit because of their earnings will be a credit month, and they'll adjust their reduction factor when they reach full retirement age. But they're still going to withhold 10% of their benefit until they repay everything. So while they're connected because they're both based on the person's earnings, the actions for each are separate. So they'll continue to withhold till the overpayment's repaid, but at full retirement age, they will make the adjustment.
So Jim, what you're saying is Social Security will reduce the withholding percentage down to 10%.
Yeah, that's brand new.
Brand new.
And we've had some folks that have gone to Social Security and they said, well, you're not eligible for that. I guess, I don't know why. Maybe their overpayment was before they changed the rules. But used to, they would say, you have 30 days to pay it back. And if you don't, starting in about 3 months, we're going to withhold your full benefit. So they would withhold someone's full check until the overpayment was recovered. Well, the new commissioner thought that was kind of mean, and I can't disagree with him. That's a little tough for people on Social Security to have their whole check withheld. So they put a cap on it that says the most they'll withhold is 10%, unless that 10% is less than $10, and then they'll hold $10. But good news is there's no interest or penalty involved here. But so supposedly the maximum withholding is 10%. You can still request a lesser amount if you can show Social Security you can't afford even 10% to be taken out of your check. If you can repay the overpayment in 3 years, generally they'll accept that.
Jim, let's see. You're involved with a Facebook group for Social Security workers, colleagues and stuff. What's been going on there? Have they been discussing the revised repayment rules?
No, they haven't talked too much about that. Just a lot of moaning, groaning, gnashing of teeth, and complaining that government workers like to do. I'm sure all workers like to do that. But the biggest thing that they're complaining about is people are leaving. They're not satisfied with their position with Social Security, the support they get from management, the training they get. They do fuss about the lack of training. And so they're going to other government agencies. So Social Security is having a hard time keeping employees, which means then the ones that are there are pretty much fairly new. And maybe that's why we're getting issues like we got with the widows and people's own Social Security benefits, is the folks are too new and they don't know the rules. And the people that know the rules went somewhere else.
I know that Martin O'Malley, the current commissioner of SSA, I think his term expires sometime in January of 2025. He did put out a blog, and I think I've discussed that blog from time to time. But a couple points he's made is that he believes that lots of the letters that it just sent out by SSA, it's full of gibberish, if that's an actual word, and they need to be revised. In other words, they don't make a lot of sense. He kind of said that. And he also indicated that SSA has become a department whereby employees, like Jim said, tend to go elsewhere. So that it's kind of like a giver of employees and not a receiver of employees. At one time, employees wanted to work for SSA. Maybe it's not the same anymore, unfortunately. Jim, that's kind of what you were just referring to.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know, the language that's used in overpayment notices and all notices, I wish him good luck with that. Every commissioner from the beginning of time has said, we need to revamp our language and make it our program more understandable for the folks out there when you receive an overpayment notice. I do recall there were times people would bring in overpayment notices. We would look at it in the local office and have to agree with them. I have no clue what this says. I have no clue how much you're overpaid, how long they're going to keep your money till they pay it back. And we would have to contact people in the few payment centers throughout the country to get an explanation. So they're always trying to make it a little more understandable, but not with much luck.
All right. Before we go to Tanya, I want to remind you, we're going to end after Tanya asks her question. We're going to end for the day. We have classes coming up: Kansas City on August 29th, Cincinnati on September 6th. And also, we're going to start to promote our holiday special webinars. We have two in late December. I think they're both after Christmas, where you can, new advisors to the NSSA program can save 40%. I don't really remember what that discount code is, but if you go to the website, you'll definitely find it. Website is premiernssa.com. So we'd love to see you at one of our upcoming webinars. No, I didn't really mean to say that. Upcoming classes in KC and in Cincinnati. I'd like to see you on holiday special webinar. And our next actual webinar is August 19th and 20th, split over 2 days from 11 to 3 Eastern time, both days. We'd love to see you. As a returning advisor, you can attend for just $500, and your colleagues could attend for $895. We'd love to see you and your colleagues on our either a future webinar or a future in-person class. All right, Tanya, you're next. Go ahead, Tanya.
There we go. So with all of the issues with Social Security, and I know you've mentioned this before, Jim, there's a full document. What was the name of the name or the code of the full Social Security document? So when various issues do come up, we can reference specifically a particular section of their full-on document. I know you had mentioned before it's available, but I don't recall either the name or the code of that.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Is it the reconsideration, the request for
Yeah.
reconsideration?
I see we should talk about PALMS or
Yes,
Social
the
or the Social Security
PALMS.
handbook. One,
Yes.
either one, yeah. So
Oh,
PALMS
okay.
is Program Operations Manual System, and also you can find that on the SSA.gov website. Good luck on actually reading it, understanding it. I gave up a long time ago. That's why I send emails to Jim. And also, Social Security handbook is more written in language that we can understand. Jim, thoughts and comments there?
Yeah, and you can access either of those by just Googling either PALMS or Social Security handbook, and it'll take you to the link.
Good luck.
And then, yeah, and then could you also repeat the GPO and WEP FAQs? It was like 05 something.
Yeah, give me one quick second. Government pension offset, it's 05-10007. And the windfall is 05-10045. Again, if you Google WEP fact sheet or GPO fact sheet, it should give you the link to that as well. So you don't necessarily have to put in the numbers.
Okay. And I guess with the advent, one last question, with the advent of artificial intelligence and efficiencies and all of that, and with so many issues with Social Security, do you think that they would be open to improving their systems and processes, of course, with the employees that they already have, to where people can utilize artificial intelligence that works for the Social Security Administration in a more efficient way, providing correct responses to things, and also with the languaging, setting things up to where they're giving a better user experience for beneficiaries?
Yeah, that might happen in spite of Social Security. Will they want to actively work on that? It's hard to say. It would require a change at the top. Generally speaking, they're very protective of the processes they have, and who is able to affect those. You know, with AI, they may lose control on how the rules are documented and what it says out there. So it'd be hard to say. So I'd be real surprised if they took advantage of AI. It may happen anyway, but I'd be surprised if Social Security was willing to do that.
Yeah. Okay, just curious.
Okay, folks, we need to end today early so I can hop on another Zoom. Thanks so much for being here. Glad I am back safe and sound. And I think our next one is scheduled maybe for 2 weeks hence. New word in my vocabulary. All right, folks. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.